friends, it's Allison. Welcome back to AJ's Inspired Life. Welcome back to another week of the Inspired to Create Prompt Challenge. This is, I don't even know where we're at. The second week of August, the third week of August. It's the third week of August. And Melissa and I over at Messy Missy Creates have been doing this since February. And so you know how it works by now. If you're new here, welcome. It is a challenge where we just give a weekly prompt and wing it. We just come up with words that we want to do. So you can do whatever you want. Now, we normally have a way to get prompts. This week we did not. And so we put it out on Instagram and Facebook for you guys. And I am so grateful for you guys. You guys sent in some amazing prompts. So as you can see, the prompt word itself is actually lunchbox. And so I went through the list of words, and I do apologize because when I grabbed my list of words, some of you had not, I guess, responded yet or whatever. So there are some lists I didn't get, but I have seen them now. I've added them to my master list of words because you guys are so creative with your prompts. I'm totally inspired by them. But I have gone ahead and chosen some off the couple lists that we got. So Elizabeth from Never Hopeless responded for the letter L with leather. And I thought that is brilliant. I really wanted to use leather. And I actually looked, you guys, I looked in my stash. I looked at the thrift store. Anyway, I mean, I could have found a picture, but I really wanted to use a thing of leather. But anyway, I digress. I did not use leather. I ended up using lace. Okay. So for L, we're going to use lace, but you can see some of the words. I have them on that little tiny list right there. But for U, I'm using uniball, which came from Elizabeth. For N, I'm using nuvo drops, which came from arting with my nomies. And let's see what's next. C, I'm using clasp or closure, which comes from Creative D73. For H, I'm using hidden, which I thought was a fun one. And let's see, B, I'm using bag. So you can see that little bag I've already started to work with. For O, I'm using the color orange. Bag came from Terry Lebeth, I believe. For O, I'm using orange, with a few of you gave me for O, and Rhonda Williams, you were one of them. And then for X, I'm using Xerox, which also was on multiple lists. So I want to thank all of you for giving us ideas. Both Melissa and I pulled from these lists from her Instagram and Facebook and from our YouTube as well as mine. So those are the prompts that I'm using. I actually really, really like this page. So I will tell you, I was in love with the prompt of clasp or closure. I just thought it was brilliant. And so far what I've done is I've grabbed that little bag that I had that came in Happy Mail or something. I do have a piece of scrapbook paper that I've used in this month's journal. You can see I'm peeling it up right now because I already glued that thing down. And I'm going to create a clasp or a closure for this envelope. And my thought was like the envelopes on, like the closures on big envelopes where they have the string and they tie it around. And anyway, so I'm taking some of these little buttons that I've made, and those were inspired, and I posted them on Instagram a while ago, but Janet Nash has a video on them, and Sweet L also at Never Hopeless made them, and they are so much fun to make. And I have a little jar of them sitting here in front of me, and I thought that would be really fun to make a closure out of. So I did go ahead and find some brads, and put the brads on there. And they look a little wonky because the button, I actually made 2 holes in the buttons and pulled, like they have thread in them, but I obviously put the brad only through one of the holes, if that makes sense. So they look a little off-centered, which is completely fine. It's totally fine with me. They look a little wonky. I'm here for it. No problem. Okay. So I've put those on the bag to work as a closure. So this is my Xerox. Now, again, Melissa actually chose Xerox as well, and I am not too sure. I do think Xerox is a brand like Kleenex, okay, whereas Kleenex is a brand of facial tissue. Okay. I don't know. I think of Xerox as a copy of something. Okay. And this is actually a copy of something. This was a piece of math, like worksheet or whatever from my kids in, I don't even know what, middle school or something. It has some writing on it. You can see on the other side, it had some notes from the teacher that were like pre-copied. So I know it was copied, which is what I'm counting as a Xerox. So there you have it. I am squeezing out the end of this little thing of acrylic paint on here because I want to create a different color. You can see my new nuvo drops. You can see those things in front of me. I have those three colors. I have basically like a red, white, and blue. And the blue is actually like different than the white and the red. The white and the red are like solid, if you will. The blue is actually like a sparkle blue. I don't know. It's not very dark. It's actually very kind of light gray, if you will. And so I have this acrylic paint. And so I kind of wanted to match those drops. So I just put some paint all over that piece of Xerox math sheet I have. And now I'm going to just glue this entire piece of paper that I cut out to use as my prompt page. Okay. Again, if you're new here, welcome. The way I have been doing all of these is just on a separate piece of paper, and then I'm gluing them into my journal. Okay. So I'm not creating actually in my journal, and this allows me to obviously have more maneuverability around the page and work on a flat surface, like all that kind of stuff. Okay. So I'm just gluing that, painted page right over the top of it. I don't care if it's centered. I don't care any of that because I'm going to just go ahead and cut it to fit right here. All right. So, that's one of the prompts. Off to the side, you can see I've used bag and orange, and I'm creating a clasp. So, it's working. It's coming together so far. I still have some work to do. The lace, like my vision for the lace, I think you saw me a little bit ago try and maybe put it on the actual clasp. Not the clasp, like the flap. And I'm not in love with it. I'm going to try it one more time, but I think I really like it down the side better. And yeah, I'm also a little bit trying to figure out like what I want to do for hidden. Okay. So if you look at this like bag and you see the clasp, I don't think it's a giant jump to figure out that there might be something inside the bag, right? So I could count that as hidden, but I think I'm going to try and hide something else. And so I'm just trying to kind of figure out how that's all going to work, basically. So I'm putting some Aleene's it's actually jewelry. It's jewelry glue. I don't think it's necessarily the greatest choice for this, and you're going to see me make another choice very quickly. So, yeah, I want it to flip up. So I'm going to put something behind this envelope also, and maybe it will be a little hidden. I'm not too sure. So as I flip that up, I can't let it dry. No, I have to mess with it, and it's not happy. It's not happy, and it probably would have been very happy with some hot glue, to be honest, and it probably would have been happier if I just let it sit. But I'm not in the mood. So I am putting some tape down. Now that is thick tape, or wide tape, I should say, a little bit wider than I probably need to use on this. And so, but I'm fine with it. I guess if I had it to do over, I would probably use my thinner tape, more narrow tape rather. So that's kind of what it looks like with lace on one side. And I feel like it's off center a little bit. So I'm thinking about that. There are my ribbon bundles, or whatever you call them. I'm not tassels. I'm looking for a very, very thin piece to use as the tie on the clasp. And so I find this really fun piece of kind of silver. I don't know what to call it. It's not string, but I mean, it's not twine. I don't know what it is. I guess we'll go with ribbon. I don't think ribbon's correct either, but, and like you can see me kind of working it around the button there. And I'm actually not in love with it. And so I'm like, nope, that's not going to do it. And I go and I look for my, my dental floss, which I apologize because I thought I cut this part out. So I'm currently looking for dental floss. I have blue dental floss, which I really wanted to use in this, and I cannot find it. So I'm concerned if I didn't cut this out, which part I did cut out, quite frankly, but it's okay. So I found my regular dental floss there that I use like in my crafting room. That's not from my bathroom dental floss. That's just like the one I have down here. But by regular, I mean, you know, in color and whatnot. So we're going to use that. I often use it like to lift up things or whatnot. So I'm going to use that as my clasp. So I'm going to tie it around, you know, this first button and then wrap it around the other one. So it's kind of like a, I don't know, those security envelopes, you know, I don't know. Did you guys ever, we used to send, this is completely dating myself, but I will do it because I know some of you, you know, are with me. Like at my office, we used to send things like from one room to the other or one office to the other, if you will, like inter-office mail maybe. And it was a big manila envelope and it had a bunch of lines on the other side. And you would write like who it's from, you know, the date, what office it's from or who, and then who it's going to, right? And then they would cross off that line when they got it. They would open up the envelope and then they would restuff it with something and send it to the next person, whatever that, you know, whatever that was. That's what these envelopes remind me of. So anyway, so here I'm putting down the other piece of lace, and I understand like it's a little off-centered, but I think it creates kind of the image I want when you lay the bag down flat, that maybe the bag's glued down. I think that's what I was going for, that it's flat there, right? And so now you can see also as I bend that bag, do you see how far in it's bending? That's because that's where the glue is, or the tape, right? And so that's where I would have used a thinner, more narrow tape if possible. I mean, it was possible. I just didn't choose it, right? But if I had it to do again, that's what I would do. So that's kind of it. So now I have this bag and then I have the lace, and I think when it lays flat, it looks as if it doesn't necessarily flip. It doesn't look like a flip. I understand. Like, I think when you look at it, you can say like, oh, there's something in the bag. There's a clasp on it. Let's open it and find something on the inside. So hopefully that's the use of the hidden prompt. Right now I'm using my uniball marker, which is a white marker, and I'm just drawing some circles. And then I'm going to use my Nuvo drops, and I'm going to use the blue. I'm just making sure that bag doesn't kind of get glued down. I'm going to use the blue Nuvo drops, and I'm just going to drop a little blue dot into the middle of each of those circles. So I apologize. I should have squished you in for this, or zoomed you in rather, so you could see a little bit better. But you can see the white circles that I drew, and then I'm just going to drop a little drop of Nuvo drops in there. Now, you can see me messing with it, of course, because why? I haven't used it in forever, and, you know, it doesn't want to come out. But I get it going. Because why? It's much like glue, right? And you know me and glue. But so I'm adding some little dots there to the inside of those circles, which also, if you work with glitter glue or stickles or Nuvo drops, the general rule, if you're thinking ahead, do this last. Just little tip for you. do this last because it has to dry, right? But no, not me, not me. I'm going to do it now, and I'm going to continue to work on this page and around the wet glue stuff. But yeah, so I'm putting the Nuvo drops away. I'm crossing off the prompts, so you can see we're making some progress there. I want to put something in the actual bag, but I'm not going to do that now. I can't even remember, quite frankly, if I do it with you guys on camera. I can't quite remember. I think I do. Yeah, because I'm going to look for a card right now. So I just grabbed my recent pile. You guys know I keep a pile of Project Life cards. I should probably redo them, quite frankly, because these are ones that got pulled. I have boxes of Project Life cards and cut aparts or journaling cards or whatever you want to call them. They're not all Project Life cards, much like all copies are not Xerox or all facial tissues aren't Kleenex, right? So a couple of them I can use in other things, and so I'm pulling that one, and then I'm just trying to find one that might kind of go in here. This journal page took me, not too sure, 45 minutes or so, and I put it on fast forward for you guys. But this is part of why it takes a while, right? Is because going through all the stuff, right? Going through every piece of little journal cards. You could easily use many of these and it would be fine. But I'm gonna keep you hostage here while we go through all of them. I apologize. I probably could have cut this part out as well, but I like the live in the moment. So I'm looking for two things actually. I'm looking for a card to go in the pocket, right? For the envelope that you know is like an envelope. And so you can see I've pulled that So Loved one, right? And now I'm kind of looking still for maybe something that might go behind it, if that makes sense. Because I still want to hide something behind this whole bag, right? And so I'm just trying to figure out maybe what my options are. I love that card. It doesn't go on this page, but I absolutely love it. And so as I'm looking through these, I'm kind of trying to figure out both of those spots still, trying to figure out what might work. But I think that I have an option with the two that I have there. So the bird down at the bottom and then the So Loved off to the right. There's some other options as well, but I think that I'm looking at like some of these quotes and stuff because I think that might be fun. I want just a little hidden message behind the bag, if you will. So we're gonna keep looking for that for just a minute. So this bird, as much as I love him, is not going to fit behind the bag, partially because, again, the tape is so wide, right? And so I cut it once, and we'll have to cut twice, cut 3 times, measure twice, or whatever the saying is not, right? I'm trying to cut it down with some square edges, but it's not going to fit. So a little spoiler alert for you, but I think that will be cute, kind of behind the bag. And the quote, if you can't read it, it says, "Don't be afraid to fly." And I just think it's so sweet with that little bird. So we're going to cut it apart. We're going to cut the bird and the quote apart, basically, and see if we can put it behind there. And so that will be our little hidden. That will qualify as hidden, which I thought was a brilliant prompt. And then we'll stick something in the envelope that isn't hidden, right? And people know, like, to find that. So all the people that read my journal when it's no longer my turn to read journals, right? So hopefully, right? That's what we sometimes make them for, is to document the days or the memories. These pages are not necessarily for that. These pages are for maybe just creativity and whatnot. I will go ahead and journal something on that journal card, though. I absolutely love it. So as I tuck it in there, you can see it is like the exact same kind of size maybe as the pocket. And so I'm going to pull some tabs out of my little tab box here and see if that helps. So, yeah, we got to go through all these too. We got to go through all the tabs and figure out the right ones. So we're gonna, those are some sticker ones, which I thought might be kind of fun, but we end up using a different one. Now, tabs and punches are one of my favorite things to honestly kind of make because you can punch them out of anything, and I really enjoy doing that. So the one I choose, if you see that one right there, is actually out of like a, I don't even know what, a makeup box maybe or something that we bought. I don't know, a long time ago. Often the graphics on, on marketing, on boxes is so beautiful and they're so fun just to punch a little piece out of. So I absolutely love it. I think it's stunning. And so, and it kind of, contrasts enough with that top. It kind of matches the outside almost. That I think it fits really well. I'm very happy with it. So you can just see it tucks in there. So, and then I just wrap up the journal, the clasp, if you will. And so that's that. I know. I am kind of excited. So there's the hashtag. If you guys want to play along, please join in. The hashtag is right there. The inspired to create _2023. And I am writing down what I use. So lace, uniball, nuvo drops, clasp or closure. Where are we at? Hidden. I can't see is why. Hidden and what's B? I already lost my list, you guys. I'm so sorry. Oh my goodness, what I do? Oh, bag is for B. Oh, and now I'm running out of time. Sorry, bag is for B, and then O is orange, and then X is the Xerox. Thanks for hanging out, you guys. I hope you have a great day, and I hope you find something today that inspires you.